Hey YouTube, this is KingCobraJFS with another video. And I was working on the beach cruiser last night when the wiring for the cable right here decided to strip and the strings popped off. Now, that shouldn't be too hard to replace, but the springs I'm talking about, here's one of them. Here's the other one. Now, why is this piece important? Well, I'll explain. A little screw like this sits on top of the thing just like that, and you push a little wire through that tiny hole and you thread it, so when you squeeze the throttle, this piece goes in towards the engine when you squeeze it and out when you release it. Doing so makes the engine go and makes the bike move. So yeah, I can't say I'm too thrilled about having to replace the clutch wiring, but yeah, other than that, I mean, you can see everything's on the bike there pretty much. So yeah, I can't say I'm too happy about, that throttle cable breaking, but then again, you come this far for something like this, then yeah, And for sure, I can't wait to ride it, man. This thing looks fucking cool. It was a bitch to put together, and it's still being a bitch to put together. I practically done the last 6 things. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not the easiest project to take on, but it is what it is. So I'm sure I can replace it with like a brake cable or something. The only thing it needs to have really is this piece on the end and a wire thin enough to go through that little hole right there and have the screw tightened down on it and in a manner that will allow it to do what it's supposed to. So once that's done, all I gotta do after the chain and the brake are put on, put gas in it and I start pedaling it, and then I get to a certain speed, I should go just squeeze the throttle. That will engage the engine and the bike will actually move forward. The further I squeeze this throttle, the faster the engine goes. So, a little 2-stroke 6688cc onboard engine. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to finishing it for sure. It's just taking a considerable amount of time to finish. But it's just one of those things, I guess. I noticed one of the YouTubers was harassing me on a video, so instead of responding to the little shithead, I just decided to report his bullying to YouTube and let them deal with it. And if they don't deal with it, I can always block this person from my channel. I don't go around insulting your beliefs, so don't insult mine. It would not do you any favors. It's been a minute since my hair's been this long. Took for fucking ever to grow back out, but I think the effort was most definitely worth it. It's usually when I'm at work, you don't see me wearing my hair out like this. It's usually in a freaking ponytail, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let my hair rest on that shit for a bit. And yeah, get it all combed out and shit. It makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Shit sucks, but what are you gonna do, I mean, it's one of those things. Can't say I'm too thrilled about the bike taking this fucking long to finish, but like I said, it'll be worth it when it's done, because I'll have a decent mode of transportation. It was mighty nice of the transit bus to run for free today. That really saved my ass. I mean, I had enough bus fare to get me through to work till tomorrow and shit, but I'm also getting paid tomorrow. That's why I say it's not really that big of a deal. Once I get paid, figure out how much it's going to cost to replace that cable, and when the brake gets here, have that installed, and see if they can also, when they put the brake on, see if they can also put the chain on as well. That'd really help. And then so I can do the clutch cable myself. I know how to assemble that, but the chain and the brake I do not. Two things that make the bike work like it's supposed to. Oh, if I had $100 for every time I got called a creeper, oh, I'd be rich. Filthy stinking rich. I could afford a car then. You gotta start somewhere. And the bike before, I could pedal and get around town and shit just fine. I've ridden all over Casper on that bike pretty much, not just the usual point A to point B. I've taken it for rides in the rainstorms, and it's quite fun. One time I did a spin out in the middle of the street, did a full circle in the middle of the street while it was raining. No cars were coming. I just slammed on my brakes and turned, and the bike ran like that. And I'm like, oh, that was kind of fun. I didn't fall over or anything. I just landed on my foot. Like, I kind of stopped myself from falling. I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of cool. Some of you be like, male or female? Male. I posted a tasteful on Facebook, and not even 4 seconds in, it got flagged. So I'm like, well, I'm going to delete the photo before Facebook has a chance to review it. Ha 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 ha. That way they can't flag me for it. Case in point, I go to new window, and I click on Facebook. Apparently I'm logged out because I had to restart a couple things because my internet was acting really slow. It's all still there, so if I want to log into it, I'm sure I could. And this is the thing about it, the hypocrisy of it. If someone on YouTube posts a skit, or it's not on YouTube, but Facebook, if someone goes on to Facebook as a drawing of that person naked, it's totally okay. It's done in artistic purposes, right? But I do it, and it was automatically flagged. And I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with Facebook's flagging system. I'm not going to get in trouble and potentially lose time out on Facebook because of my bad behavior. So I deleted the photo before they had a chance to review it. Needless to say, it didn't help this morning that I woke up thinking I missed the bus. Well, it turns out the bus system was going to run until after the parade, so because of that, I was actually an hour late for work. And that honestly pisses me off more than the clutch thing, you know what I'm saying, or the throttle cable being broken. And someone had taken the justice of puking in the urinal and clogging the urinal with it. So I go in there in my uniform, ready to start the day, and they're like, hey, Josh, someone to open the urinal. Okay, I'll take care of it. I went in there with the plunger and plunged it and tried flushing it. Didn't go down. Started to leak water on the floor. Great. So I just threw the plunger in the stall, went, grabbed the mop, mopped up the water underneath the urinal, and let my manager know. And they're like, oh, well, I'll have to call AAA on this and have them get it fixed. So, okay, so I gotta admit that's not how I wanted to start my day, on top of everything else. Needless to say, though, tomorrow's payday, and there's a reason why I stick around for a job like that, because, hey, you put up with a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, it's still a job, right? Can't say I'm complaining. One tip I would advise for those of you out there who are renting is to try to stay a couple of months ahead on rent. Like if you're already a month ahead on rent, so like your rent's already paid for that month and you got money to spare for it, then just keep paying it, and eventually you'll be a couple months ahead. And keep your space clean. Despite the fact I'm working on this beach cruiser here, you know, the apartment still remains clean, obviously. Oh, but you wear spikes and you have long hair. You look like a hoodlum and an irresponsible thug. And you, sir, are a judgmental cocksucker. Okay? Your mentality is so skewed. You have this mentality of, oh, he wears his hair long and whatever. Well, if you're going to grow your hair this long, you got to keep it combed. Because if you don't, it's going to look like shit. And you go do the combing out, and it's all tangled up and shit, and combing out is twice as hard. So, you know, there is a bit of maintenance to having long-ass hair. You know, but because my job says, hey, you got to put your hair in a ponytail, you can't just let it hang out like that. Like, yeah, I can do that. I don't wear the makeup either when I'm working. And this stays tucked in my uniform. But sometimes when I'm leaning over a table and cleaning it, it falls out, but it happens, and yeah. But, yeah. It's just like, wow, you know, what a, you know. But then I saw a video of this cop beating up an old lady because she was trying to cross the street in California, in Los Angeles. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it has to do with puke and a broken throttle cable, but it could be worse, right? So, look, I get that they're trying to do their job, but, you know, she was an old lady, and then she was crossing the street, and they started punching her in the head and shit. Some guy caught it on his camera, and, you know, started off understandably joking, like, oh, hey, pedestrian in the street, you know, 10 points, whatever. But then the cops went up to her, oh, hey, sweet, he's going to help the situation. Nope. Nope. Just beats the shit out of her. If you would use the taser, she probably would have died of a heart attack because those things shoot electricity, especially at her age. See, you didn't have to punch her. You could have just, you know, kind of like did this and put her hands behind her back and arrested her. You didn't have to be so excessive with it. And I'm like, there's cops in California where marijuana is legal. Surely it's not worth letting an old lady piss you off that much. You know, you could have handled that a lot better, and if you're that angry at your job, maybe you know, go home, smoke some of that California weed, not let that shit get to you. You think? Justice did somewhat prevail so far. He did get suspended from his job. Great. So, at least there was some justice involved, even if the woman, you know, doesn't sue or doesn't pursue justice. You know, it's like Ozzy Osbourne said in Life Won't Wait. Know that justice will slow, but it comes in the end. So. You know, and you sit there and complain about your day like, oh, this and this and this and this and this sucked. But then you hear a news story, and it puts your problems into perspective as minuscule in comparison. And it's unfortunate when you're hearing these stories on the news, and, you know what I'm saying, because of cops, some of these cops are actually doing their job, you wouldn't have all cops made to look bad. You see what I'm saying? And that ain't fair. You know? But that's life. I should probably be careful about posting news on Facebook and shit, because I don't want the NSA checking me out. Like, oh, we got this guy on coverage. I tell you, yeah, you really did. mean, what can you do when you hear these stories? You can sit there and say, oh man, that sucks. Why does this shit gotta happen? Because it does, you know. Had the cop known he was being filmed, he probably wouldn't have acted the way he did. But once he was quite eager to use that force, I reckon he just lost it and started, yeah. I'm pretty sure it wasn't an armed assailant either. You know, it was just some old lady walking the streets in a bit busy traffic, so I understand to get you out of your job and get her out of harm's way from other people and herself, but he literally started punching her, and she stopped resisting at that point. And, you know, he didn't stop there. He actually had her on the ground and was punching her repeatedly, like 7 to 8 times in the head. Nice. You know, between that and some guy getting busted for meth resin at 3 o'clock in the morning, here's the thing, this undercover cop will supposedly bought meth from this one guy, right? They obtained a no-knock warrant, and they bust down this guy's house at 3 o'clock in the morning. And before checking other rooms, they just decided to say, fuck it, we're going to throw a flash grenade in there. And that flash grenade lands in the crib of a 19-month-old kid. It blows a huge hole in the kid's pillow, about that fucking round, and literally burns the crap out of his face to the point where he's in the hospital with like 4-degree burns, man. His parents can't even hold him. And they didn't find any meth on him, they found meth resin. Oh, I'm glad you guys are going after meth and shit, but goddamn, dude, is it worth a 19-month-old's face? This was SWAT, too. Their job was to be stealthy, not... And chances are, you break into an American's house like that, causing all that racket, what's going to happen? They're going to grab their gun and start shooting. So, yeah. So, yeah, it sucks when that shit happens, but, again, whoa! Almost fell off my chair there. I'm not used to having the chair. The chair I had before broke, so I'm like, fuck it, it's garbage, throw it away. So I'm using one of my kitchen chairs. I'm used to being able to lean back on that, and yeah, it's a chair you cannot lean back on. No. But yeah, what are you gonna do when that shit happens, man? It fucking sucks. And, you know, the reason they were able to keep a no-knock warrant on this guy's house was because he had a previous gun offense. And, you know, the kid was there because the dude's wife's sister, that was her kid. You know, quite common to go, hey, can you watch my kid for a bit so I can go do this, this, and this, and this? You know, yeah, sure, not a problem. You know, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, lucky that he survived. That could have definitely, you know. And you hear about these stories and go, what the fuck can one person do? You can bitch about it because the shit pisses me off. Well, then, to top it all off, we got some idiot, you know, tagging the cemetery here and telling pentagrams and shit. Really? You know why it pisses me off? Because it continuously fuels the religious hate in this town. And it's disgusting. You don't see it on the surface, but it's there. You know. Well, they're just religious hate in general, because then that story made news, and people are seeing that going, oh, you know, I guess Satanists are vandalists and But then you saw the local goth kids going, hey, that's not cool. They actually brought their own shit in with their own paint thinner and went in there and scrubbed those graves clean of all the spray paint. They didn't have to because they didn't do it, but hey, they say goths love cemeteries, right? That's a really pretty graveyard, too. They do a nice job taking care of it, man. That really pissed me off. It's like, you know, hearing that shit going, you know, and that's just the thing. You know, life is a bitch. The worst that could happen to these people who did this thing to the graveyard, the corpses are going to be robbed by necrophiliacs, more than likely, because that's karma for you. And they're going to get away with it because in the past life that they led, they vandalized the graveyard. That's how karma works, so to speak. Now, some of you don't believe in karma, but that is your choice. But really, to do unto others, you want done to you. Even if you go through some shit, you don't let it affect you. You just say, yeah, that's life, you know. Peak faces everywhere, right? It's like, hey, Mike, why don't you come work at Wendy's? It's a dirty job. He's also on the Ford commercials, if I'm right. That's great. You know, I've had a number of experiences, but on the particular bike I'm putting a motor on, I almost got hit by a Dodge pickup truck. Came about this close. I was crossing the crosswalk. My bike was about here, the truck was right here. My bike swerved to the left, then swerved to the right. I was on the sidewalk, and the truck missed me by about a hair, and it had a cow grill on it. The last scooter I lost, or whatever you want to call it, because I had something like this before, it was just a lot smaller, and it wasn't beach cruiser-like. I was hit with a Ford F-150 red with a cow grill. I went flying off the scooter. The scooter crushed under the weight of the pickup. I landed on the side of the street. I literally blacked out for 4 seconds. Woke back up. I'm like, whoo, let's do it again. Yeah, you know, adrenaline kicking in, like, you know. Ambulance came to check me out. Like, you were luckier than shit you didn't die, and yada 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 yada. I'm like, yeah, no shit, you know. About an hour and a half later, the adrenaline wore off. I'm just like, ow. Now, the scooter thing happened first before the beach cruiser incident happened like a couple of months ago, and, you know, made me think that I'm a damn good rider, but that doesn't mean I have to go, you know, and it's just some guy. I start going, oh, holy shit, watching the whole thing go down, like, damn. That's one of those moments you go, damn. I go, yeah, that was pretty impressive, but I rode home that day on that very same bike before I spray painted it and laughed about it. But in hindsight, I realized that you might want to be careful riding your bike, you dumbass bee. Or spurg, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, once that beach cruiser's done, I think it'll be worth the effort I put into it, just dealing with the bullshit that I have dealt with. You know. I mean, yeah, shit, you know, I got a broken clutch cable or throttle cable that needs replaced, and I did deal with puke today. It could be worse, at least I wasn't beaten savagely by ready to use blunt force cop, you know? Holy shit. And I'm sure there's a lot of hardworking cops that are trying to do their job and shit, but then these idiots who go around wearing the uniform and abusing that power, and it makes every cop look bad. Because that's the idiotness of our society. You see it on the news, and you know. It's the same principle for when we have these idiots who are watching the news and seeing all these shooters who have Asperger's syndrome and going, oh, this is why we shouldn't give Aspies guns. That shit pisses me off. It does. It's like, really? Nice. You know, despite all that bullshit, you don't let that give to you because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. There's always going to be that, you know, there's times people are going to struggle. Right now, I can't say I'm struggling that bad. If the worst I have is a couple of disgusting bodily fluids to deal with and broken throttle cable, hey, you know. And then top it off with the fact I couldn't fix the problem and I was late for work. It made me feel pretty useless as a team player, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, do what I can to make this place look good so it just becomes easier to deal with for the next person. At least I did something, right? So, yeah. Oof. Oof. You know, you can sit there and you can play guitar like that. This tabs is not what you call perfect by any means, but it's alright. supposedly that's open C. That's alright, but you want drop C. Dropped A. Ooh, drop A. Oh, what's that sound like? This is not. Yeah, some of these string tunings are really interesting. Open E. Train's gonna have to stop because apparently, as guitars do, the string decides to snap. That kind of makes your guitar playing sound like shit, doesn't it? Man. That sucks. Oh well, that's life. No sense in getting all worked up about it, you know. Just put my hair in a ponytail and change the effing string, huh? Let's see what we got. First, we're gonna get that string out. Third thickest. Okay, let's see what we got. We got a mixture of different strings here. 46, 46, 36. 38, 36, 46, 36, 46, 46. I want to. Let's go for it. Okay, what's this one? 26. Yeah, that's what we want. Gotta make sure we're soaking the strings here. Okay. Changing strings on a B stretch warlock. Fun. Especially when you're trying to make a video, and right in the middle of your video, this has to say, "Fuck you," and snap on ye. That's how it happens. It's just kind of inconvenient sometimes. There we go. And just like that, no worries. I'm gonna get it into the hole up here. That's where the two knobs. Usually it gives you difficulty, but it's just like, no, I'm not gonna fight you. Should both properly aligned with both your hands down. Third lowest string, or the fourth one from the bottom. Fantastic. Okay, now we're back. Just screw the fun tuning. I need to find a bits are always fun. You don't have to have them on your guitar, but you know, I'm actually going to cut it. The string bits. I had something to cut these with. What the hell did I do with it? I could have sworn I had something to cut these with. Fucking A, I'm just losing shit, aren't I? I don't know if you want to cut the little string bits off here, you just got some pliers and, you know. I gotta find those pliers now, it's gonna drive me insane. Turn that volume off while on the guitar while I look for the pliers. What the fuck do I do with those things? Unbelievable. Oh, here they are. Sweetness. Alright. You don't have to cut the string bits off your, you know, the excess string that hangs from your guitar. You don't have to cut all that off, but I guess if you want to need your presentation up there, you know, why not? It's not a requirement, but at the same time, it doesn't help that it sound like it tangles underneath all the other strings. Okay, string lead bits. Here's one. There's another long one. Oh, this one's going to be fun to cut off. There's the other one. Okay. The quicker we get this done, the quicker we get back to playing. There we go. Nice and they're not too sharp with their short enough, or we're not going to be dangling and what have you. There's the pick. Goodbye Blue Sky by Pink Floyd. We want to get it in standard. You gotta love it when, like I said, when guitar strings like to snap on you. It's just one of those things. those amp settings to be a bit more. How should I say? There we go. Goodbye, blue sky, Pink Floyd. Just to show you, I'm not just relying on fancy distortion to hide the mistakes, right? Yeah, right there's, God damn it. Oh yeah, they say drop D is the devil's tuning. Imagine that. I'm not saying I'm the devil, I'm just saying. I really do not like making mistakes on my guitar. It's just, God, I'm such a perfectionist. Yeah, that's just fucking brilliant. You know what? Let's not let the mistake get to me. It's just not worth it. Yeah, you know, pretty much one of those things, like, you learn the damn song, and if I would have learned it, I would have played it properly on YouTube, but between the Beach Cruiser just not coming together properly enough, and the recent breakup, it's just like, God damn it, dude. Through all the midst of emotional and bullshit and what have you, or sit me down here and try to learn me a goddamn song on guitar. Yeah. I guess sometimes blowing a guitar like that does help with the stress of the day, rather than sit here and bitch about it and be like, fuck it, it ain't worth bitching about because that's life. You know, take your frustration out and play some guitar. But then only end up being just a little bit more frustrated. Not quite. But, you know, still just mostly so it's like, wait a second. If fun of playing guitar is just doing that shit you like to do, shredding, whatever it may be, then and you go try to learn a song, you make a mistake, and it's just like, you know, you do all this cool shit on guitar, And you can't do what's in the fucking stomach. Shit like that. Pretty much just blisters the shit out of my fingertips. All nice like. It's just like, yeah, bleed for your sport, or blister and bleed for your passion. Yeah. And, yeah, I was kind of in a bad mood when I got to work because I was late, an hour late and all that, but I got to work and did what I could, you know, to stay busy the time I was there, and, you know, I did a decent job, you know. And, you know, sometimes I hear a customer say, hey, you're doing a good job, and like, oh, thank you, you know, it really means a lot, you know. So sometimes you gotta remember that, you know, had I known about what was going on in the world outside of whatever, you know, I wouldn't have been so quick to get pissed off at work shit, you know. So sometimes you gotta remember that it could be worse, you know. I mean, you gotta analyze your situation and, you know, try to put yourself in someone else's shoes and going, oh, okay, you know. But sometimes you're gonna find in life that your situation is as bad as it may seem, and if anything, that itself makes dealing with whatever situation you're dealing with much easier. And yes, my guitar playing is really repetitive at times, but it is getting faster. And right now it's pretty much, you know, I tried hooking up my PS2 to the TV, and the red light wasn't turning on. I'm like, are you shitting me? Great. But then I go, it could be worse. At least the internet's still working, you know. To figure out how much a PS3 is going to cost and how much a USB thing is going to cost, and hopefully I can take my account from Stephanie's PS3 and transfer it to the one I get. Then maybe I won't have to level up or anything. All my shit will be there. And if not, you know, I don't mind creating another character for Saints Row the Third and GTA 5 and what have you. So. I was just thinking, you know, if I want a Grand Theft Auto fix, I can play some San Andreas on the PS2, old-ass game, right? But, you know. And then, of course, the PS2 doesn't want to turn on or connect. I'm like, great. Well, it connects just fine, but the red light doesn't turn on when you hook up the cable, so what the fuck? Yeah, it is what it is. So I haven't bothered with it because I figured, what's the point? It's just gonna, you know, aggravate me a little. I say it could be worse, yes, but there's times when life will aggravate people. It happens, right? Especially when you're driving and some angry driver has to honk at you all angry like, and sometimes the situation isn't even in your control. You're just stuck behind some dude in front of you who's being slow, and the driver behind you is blaming you for it. I mean, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? That happens quite often, actually. It happens a lot more often than you realize. That shit right there. Yeah, I can't say I'm too thrilled about, yeah, I'm just backtracking at this point. when that beach cruiser gets down, it'll be worth it. It's taking a lot longer than I originally thought I was going to. Yeah. That's the fun of doing projects, isn't it? But till then, this is KingCobraJFS with another video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later.